So this video is actually a bit of a urgent slash emergency update video, and I really hate to use that word because there's a lot of YouTubers who use that for clickbait. Every video is an emergency and that kind of stuff, and it's obviously ridiculous. It's like, when the boy cried wolf too many times, nobody believes him anymore when there's an actual wolf that shows up. But in this time, I really do want to warn people that there is possibility of things getting ugly with Bitcoin. So let me dive straight into it. By the way, if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell to make sure you do get updates. If you don't want to miss a future update, to make sure you get all the important updates, get on my email list, first link in the description down below, and get on my Telegram. We've got a free Telegram channel, one-way updates. It's also, the link is in the description. Feel free to join that. So why I wanted to make this video and why I call it a bit of an emergency update really this time is because we have just broken down below, and this is a 3-day chart. So every candle is 3 days. We have broken below the 200-week moving average. Now, this candle did just start today, so there's 2.5 days left for this candle to close. And ultimately, we do need that candle close for the signal to be confirmed, because you can see over here, we had that wick below and it reversed back up and we had the big bounce, but that bounce failed. And now we're back down here. And you can see there's only been 2 times pretty much since 2016 or even longer, that the price actually broke below this 200 period average of the 3-day moving average. And you can see that was the capitulation at the end of the 2018 bear market, where the price dropped pretty much 50%. You can see it went from 6,600 to just over 3,000. in a pretty short period of time after it broke through there. Then the second time was in March 2020, obviously with the health crisis sell-off, and we also went from the moving average, which was about 7,000, to just under 4,000. So that was also just over a 40% drop, those 2 times that has happened. So are we in a situation where we are about to get a major drop in Bitcoin? Obviously, I can't see the future. I don't know if that's going to happen for sure. But the last 2 times that it did this, the only 2 times, we had major drops over 40%. So seeing that this average is currently about 37,000, if we were to drop 50%, you can see where that could take us. I mean, that would be quite a big drop down. You can see over here, 50% would take us to just under $20,000, which, by the way, coincides with the 200-week moving average, which is currently about $20,000, as well as the all-time high back in the 2017 bull run. So there's a lot of confluence around that area with multiple potential indicators suggesting that we could go there. Now we're going to go there in one go and we're going to be there by next month. Who knows, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't even happen. But if it does happen, are you prepared for it? And obviously, if Bitcoin is going to go down, look at what is going to happen with altcoins. In general, altcoins tend to outperform Bitcoin on the upside and the downside. So if Bitcoin potentially drops 50%, we might be looking on more than 50% drops for altcoins from current levels. Now, altcoins are already down a lot. Not trying to scare you here. I'm just trying to give you a warning, trying to give you a heads up. That doesn't mean you should panic. It should mean anyway, at this point, you should already have your plan in place. That was the whole intention with getting involved in the first place. Before you enter a position, you should already know, what are you going to do? Do you have a stop loss? What are you going to do if the market crashes? Are you just going to hold? And so on and so forth. So obviously that should be in place already. But in case you don't have a plan, at least start thinking about it now before it's too late. Again, no guarantees that it's going to happen. Maybe it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't, right? Maybe it reverses and this ends up being the bottom. But in case it does drop another 50% and altcoins drop another 50 to 80% from here, are you prepared for that? How would it affect you? Maybe you're in a good situation. Maybe you've planned for this. Maybe you removed initial and took profits in the bull run last year. And this is actually ideal and exactly what you're waiting for, because it's going to present an amazing, amazing buying opportunity to really get super cheap deals on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. And whether that's going to happen again in the next few weeks, or whether it's still going to take 6 months or 12 months before we ultimately get that final capitulation low, you know that buying at any point over here or buying these capitulations look at the gains that would have come after that. And sure, it would have taken a long time. I mean, in 2018, you see, even if you bought the capitulation lows at the end of 2018, you know, you had a nice little run in 2019, but ultimately you had to wait. Even if you bought here below that, look at the ultimate run up after any period over there where we bought below the 3-day 200 moving average. So there's pros and cons, right? If you're prepared for this, this is going to be potentially an amazing opportunity to buy really cheap prices. If you're not prepared for it, I suggest you start getting prepared for the potential of it happening. If it doesn't happen, that's cool too. Either way, you need to be prepared for multiple scenarios, ups and downs. I just want to try and share this with you as much as possible to help guide you even in the bear market and the down periods, because that is the dangerous period where people lose a lot of money. They buy too early, they panic sell, and there's a lot of real traps in losing a lot of money on the downside, which really ends up sucking, because eventually I'm fairly confident that Bitcoin is going to end up going higher than where it's already been, but it might take multiple years before it gets to that point. We don't know, right? So you need to be able to manage your risk. You need to be able to withstand the drawdowns. You need to be able to have risk capital available to buy those ultimate capitulation lows, because those prove to be incredibly profitable on the way up. And be very careful also with holding any sort of altcoins. Obviously, there's good altcoin projects, probably ones that are going to survive and thrive in future, but there's going to be many more as a percentage that are just ultimately going to trend to zero, or maybe disappear or become ghost coins, or just, completely die off. There's over 12,000 altcoins. Most of them are shit coins or scams or frauds. You got to be careful with which coins you hold. Meme coins, all these kind of crazy coins that were created in the hype. Are they really going to be around in a year from now or 3 years from now? That is something you got to ask yourself. And if you have significant capital locked up in those, you might want to think twice about holding those long term. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this prepares you a little bit. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in the next couple days, couple weeks, because there's crazy times right now in the stock market. Obviously, geopolitically, there's crazy stuff happening in the world. We don't know how this is going to develop. Is this all just a big hype that is just going to end up blowing over and the market recovers after we get a huge amount of stimulus that's going to be printed? It's a possibility. But is there also a possibility that everything really escalates and the whole financial market collapses and takes crypto down with it and things go absolutely nuts? That is also a possibility. So we have to be prepared for all of these scenarios and really see, it's a if this, then that kind of scenario. So if this plays out, then that's the likely probability. If the other scenario plays out, then that is the likely possibility. So crazy exciting times, but be careful, be prepared, and I will see you in the next video.